Welcome to video number 2 of filling the gaps in your schedule. We're going to go into a second strategy to add at least $10,000 worth of production to your schedule in the next 30 days or less. Now, before we get into the second strategy, I just want to check in quickly on the first strategy. Have you been giving your patients all of the options, including doing nothing, and what the risks and consequences of that may be? The second part is, have you put the alerts on your phone to check in the morning to remind you to ask to share those options with patients, and then also to check in at noon and at the end of the day to make sure that you continue to do this. We're changing habits, and that doesn't happen overnight. But the more things you can do to remind yourself, whether that's including your team members, whether that is putting these reminders on your phone, the more successful you're going to be, and the more likely you are to add well over $10,000 to your schedule in the next 30 days or less. Okay, now let's get on to strategy number 2, which I have to say is my favorite strategy because it works like gangbusters and it's so inexpensive and so fast. And it's simply this: take a picture on every single patient within hygiene. Every single time, every single patient, every single time, use the intraoral camera. Now, if you have an intraoral camera within your practice and you are already taking a picture every time within hygiene, seriously, stop the video for a second and congratulate yourself. I work with many practices. I talk with lots of dentists. You are an exception. So seriously, give yourself a pat on the back. Now, I still want you to check in and see how you're using the intraoral camera to see if you're using it the most effectively. If you don't have an intraoral camera within the practice, within every hygiene operatory, well, I have great news for you. I have a fantastic intraoral camera. It's linked in this email right here. It's only about $160. And so every hygiene operatory needs to have its own camera starting immediately. So if you have one hygiene operatory that doesn't have an intraoral camera in it, well, then you order one. If you have 2 hygiene operatories, or you have, say, 1 or 2 days a week that you have 2 hygienists and you only have one intraoral camera, go ahead and order another one. It's going to pay for itself within a matter of a day if you're actually using it. Now let me tell you what you're going to take pictures of. First and foremost, when the hygienist is looking through their patient's charts at the beginning of the day, before a morning huddle, they're going to be looking for any outstanding treatment. That is the number one thing that I want the hygienist to take a picture of. Now, when I say that they're taking pictures on all intraoral pictures on every patient, they can just take one. Let's start off with just taking one, and the priority is this: any outstanding treatment. Anything that has been diagnosed but has not been completed yet. I don't care if it's scheduled for 2 weeks away or if it's scheduled for right after this hygiene appointment. Go ahead, that's the first priority. The second priority would be anything that is like the standard of care that you think the doctor is going to be recommending the crown. So that's generally large fillings, meaning fillings that take up 50% or more of the tooth surface, that are breaking down or that have fracture lines, where the margins are leaking. That would be the second priority. Anything that you feel like is going to be recommended possibly for a crown. And then the third priority would be taking a smile photo. Just letting the patient smile and taking a photo from the nose down to the chin of the patient's smile. There's something that happens here when you make the picture independent of the patient, when you make a patient smile and their teeth independent from the patient, you start to hear their concerns. You start to hear what it is that they would want to change or what they like or dislike about their smile. So those are the priorities. First, outstanding incomplete treatment. Second, anything that looks like it would be recommended for a crown or would benefit from being crowned. And then third, taking a smile photo. I'm not saying that your hygienist needs to do all of these things. I want them just to commit to taking one picture on every patient. This is how serious I am about it, is that even with pedo patients, just take a full face smile photo, but take it on every patient. Make it a habit. I have seen time and time again how taking a picture, letting the patient see what we are seeing, makes a huge difference. I have a doctor that I work with in Indiana, and he was telling me that when they started committing to taking the intraoral pictures, he was surprised at how much less he had to talk, because the patient would say, "Man, it looks like I need to do that." It makes your life easier. So stop trying to make it harder than it needs to be. Just go ahead and order the intraoral camera if you don't already have it. And then go ahead and start taking at least one picture within hygiene. If your hygienist isn't doing it, then you're going to start by taking the pictures yourself when you come into the exam. But then have a conversation with your hygienist or hygienist and let them know that you'd like them to take at least one intraoral photo on each and every patient. Share the priorities: any outstanding incomplete treatment. Second, any teeth that look like they would benefit from being crowned. And then third, just a smile photo. If the patient doesn't have any outstanding incomplete treatment, if the patient doesn't have any teeth that are breaking down or any fillings that are breaking down that look like they would benefit from, the tooth would benefit from being crowned, then they're just going to be taking a smile photo. That's the commitment that you want from your hygienist starting immediately. Do that, and I'm going to tell you not only will your life get easier, your schedule's going to get booked. I'll see you in a few days with tip number 3 to fill your schedule and add yet another $10,000 of production to your schedule in the next 30 days or less.